Yo, what's up? What's up? It's Chris O'Connor here, your personal success coach, with another episode of Life and Entrepreneurship, where we just cover topics about life and just being an entrepreneur, what it's like to be an entrepreneur, how to start and sustain your own company, your own business, and how to do so while also living a successful and flourishing life. In this episode, we talk about how to get started. If you're watching this video, then you're interested, of course, in starting your own business, building your own brand and your own company. You have some interest in being a leader, and you may already have some leadership qualities and leadership abilities. This isn't for the faint of heart. Again, this isn't for people who will give up easily. This video is for people who are serious about building their own brand and being their own boss. Starting a company is one of the most challenging things you will ever do. It will challenge you not just professionally, but it will challenge you personally. It will not only affect your life, but it will affect the lives of the people around you, your family, your spouse, your peers, and at times it could affect your relationships negatively. It is a journey, and it's like with any other journey. It comes with its own roadblocks. It's uphill battles. It's downhill falls. There are many times where you will absolutely fail. You'll need to have the resilience to pick yourself back up and to keep pushing. Even though it's challenging, it's also very, very fulfilling to be able to wake up every morning and be on your own schedule, your own time, to be able to delegate tasks to other individuals in an effort to see your vision come to fruition. It's about teamwork and pulling resources together. It's about generating your own income and having control of your own finances, control of your own investments, control of your day, which is freedom. And that's what everyone wants is personal freedom and time, more time to do the things you love, more time to spend with the people that you love, and also have financial freedom and complete control of your finances. The first thing, again, is figuring out what your passion is. What is it that you have a burning desire in your heart to showcase to the world? What value do you want to add to the world and to the people around you? What value do you want to add to your target customer, your target market? That's where we start. Now, I'm very careful in saying and using the word passion, because a lot of us are passionate about things that we are not necessarily gifted at. And just because you have a passion, that doesn't mean that is what you should dedicate years of your life into. And so you have to figure out exactly what your gifts are. If you have a passion for sports, let's say basketball, if you have a passion for basketball and the game of basketball, that doesn't mean that you are athletic. It doesn't mean that you have the athletic gifts that Michael Jordan had or LeBron James has. Yes, you can work at it, of course, like anything else, you can work and get good at it. But you're going to see the most success if you're able to focus on what it is you're gifted at. So if you have a passion for the game of basketball, maybe you're not an athlete, maybe you're a coach. Maybe you are a therapist, a consultant, a massage therapist. There are so many other aspects of the sport where you can add value and play an integral role in the success of a team. So that goes for anything. Maybe you are good at communicating an idea and a vision to someone, which would make you then a good director. Maybe you love music, and music is another great example. Just because you love music doesn't mean you should go off or can go off or have the ability and gift to go off and try to be the next Beyonce, or if you rap, to be the next Drake or the next whoever's hot at the time. No, maybe that's not your gift. However, maybe you are gifted at hearing sounds. well, and being able to blend sounds together, which will make you a good audio engineer, which will make you a good mixer, and someone who can mix and master the sounds. Maybe you're a good producer. And when I say producer, I mean a person who is gifted at bringing people together. When you think of producer, a lot of times people think the person who makes the beats, but that's not necessarily who the producer is. People always say, what in the hell does DJ Khaled even do, right? When you talk about DJ Khaled, he's a producer. He pulls the pieces together to make the music happen. And so you're gonna have to figure out within an area of expertise what exactly your particular specialty will be. Now, once you have decided on where your gifts lie, then you can then align them with a business strategy. How can I make a business out of this? How can I make a business out of my gift, out of my talent? How can I make my talent work for me and make money for me and my family and help support my life and my lifestyle? The best way to start doing this is to create a business plan. So we'll have another video on the anatomy of a business plan, and I'll talk about exactly what goes into a business plan, how to write a business plan, and the purpose of a business plan. But you have to understand that as a business owner, it's going to be imperative that you have a business plan. A lot of us at times when we seek to do things, you know, we try to jump straight to the top. We try to jump straight to the end, and we like to skip steps that we don't feel like we want to do. If you're in the habit of skipping steps and you can't commit to every step of the process that it's going to take to be successful in a business, then you might as well just decide to do something else. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, a company owner, being a leader is not necessarily for you. You can't skip steps. You have to run the whole race, right? Just like a runner starts a race, he can't just poof, show up at the finish line and all of a sudden he's won and he's winning all the awards, he's got first place and he gets the big pot of money, whatever. Doesn't happen that way. He has to run the whole race and he's got to make it to the end, period. You have to do the same thing and be willing to do the same thing for business. So you can't skip the step of a business plan. Now, why is a business plan so important? A business plan is important for several reasons. One, it helps you get your ideas out of your head onto paper, okay? Your brain is a jumbled mess more oftentimes than not. You know, it's thinking about what you're gonna eat tonight, what happened yesterday, something you saw on the news, something you saw on social media, something somebody said to you that pissed you off. Oh, I'm tired right now. Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, I forgot to pick up that thing. Your brain is going all over the place. You cannot keep everything in your head, so you have to get it down on paper, all right? And when you start to structure your business plan, you'll begin to see a pathway for how you're gonna successfully build your business and successfully build your brand. Within the business plan, you know, you'll have various summaries. You'll be able to break down the finances and how you are going to allocate funds that you may have, who your investors are going to be if you're going to have some. Not all of us had startup capital. I know for myself, I did not have any startup capital. So I had to start it the grassroots way and invest a lot of time in sweat equity. And most entrepreneurs have to go about it this way. But it's basically going to be a roadmap for you. It's almost like if you were trying to get to a destination, it'd be very, very hard to get to that destination without some kind of map, you know, without your Waze app or your Maps app, or, you know, back in the old days, they used to pull out the paper map to help them see exactly the right pathway they should go so they don't get distracted along the way and get lost along the way. A business plan is exactly that. It's a map. It's a road map that you'll be able to come back to here and there along your journey that kind of keeps you on track and kind of reminds you of what your goals are and where your vision is and where you're trying to go. Another important thing about a business plan is that if you ever are going to consider acquiring an investor or getting some financing from someone or from a bank or anything like that, they're gonna wanna know that you have a plan, and they're gonna want to be able to see that plan thoroughly thought through and thoroughly written out, okay? You can't go into an investor meeting or go into a bank just throwing out ideas out of your head. For one, you're gonna look like you're not prepared. Two, you may skip over or miss some important details, and you don't look prepared. So you have to have a business plan. It's not just for other people. I've heard a lot of people say if they're in a business by themselves and they're not necessarily going to seek an investor, why do I have to write a business plan? Why do I need to take the time to write a business plan? Again, it's not for only for other people to see your ideas and to see your vision, but it's also for yourself. It's a roadmap for yourself. So do not skip the process of creating a business plan, who your target market is gonna be, who your customer is gonna be, who your customer is not gonna be, who your competitors are, who else is in this market competing with me. I need to know who they are, I need to remember who they are. How much is my equipment gonna cost? How much are my expenses gonna be throughout the year? It's like they say with anything else, not planning is planning to fail. If you don't have a plan, you're sure to fail at some point. So create the business plan, get your plan down on paper, and then you're off to the races from there. Next up, the important thing is finding a target market. Who are your customers? Who are your clients? Who are you trying to communicate with? That's so important. You can't reach everybody, and you shouldn't be trying to reach everybody. And that's a mistake I see a lot of amateur business people make, a lot of young entrepreneurs. They don't necessarily hone in on a target market, right? They want to sell everything to everyone, and it just doesn't work that way. So, for example, if you consider yourself a chef and you specialize in cooking soul food, you may cook the best soul food, hands down, the world has ever tasted. The best fried chicken, the best fried catfish, the best macaroni and cheese and dressing and you know, with the gravy and everything and the biscuits or whatever. You may be the best at it. It could be delicious. But if you are in an area, if you're in a market where people are very health conscious, you know, they're afraid of eating fattening foods, or you know, if you're cooking up a bunch of chicken wings and everything, and you're in an area mostly surrounded by vegans, then you won't be successful. There's no way, it doesn't matter how good your food is, you will not be successful. So you gotta make sure you're in the right market. So again, this is a journey, you know, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So it's gonna take some time. You're gonna need to dedicate some time into making sure you're finding the right market based on your services. When I started my production company, Prodigy Arts, when I was a student in college, I was trying to find the right market to start a production company in. Of course, right away, people, you know, family, my dad, and a lot of other people around me would say, you gotta go to Los Angeles, you gotta go to Atlanta, you gotta go to where your services will be valued most. You know, honestly, Los Angeles, Atlanta, those were not the best markets for me because they were so saturated with people who do what I do. I needed to find a place where I could flourish, where I could build a business, where I can offer my service to an audience that lacked my service. You know, I needed to find clients that needed what I had to offer, and if possible, find a market where there was less competition in my area of expertise. For me, that was coming back home to Memphis, Tennessee. So when I went to school, I specialized in visual effects and animation. That's what made me unique, right? And I noticed that there were no companies in Memphis that offered that service. Memphis is also a hub for Fortune 500 companies. It's where AutoZone is headquartered. It's where FedEx is headquartered. International Paper is headquartered there. You got large companies like ServiceMaster. So it's home to all of these companies that could benefit and could also afford my services. So again, I saw a void there. I saw an opportunity there for me to capitalize on being the only company in the city that could do this particular thing. So, I did my market research. I found out who the companies were. I found out who my competitors would be. Yes, I put that in my business plan. I checked out their website and saw what caliber, level of work that they were able to put out, what services they did and did not provide. And then I jumped right into that market. I quickly became, my team and I, some of the most sought after creatives in the area of video production, visual effects, and animation. If you wanted an animation and you wanted it done locally, you had to come to us. By 30 years old, I had made $1 million because I picked a market where I saw a void. And so you need to be able to do the same thing. See where your service is going to be the best accepted. See who your competitors are, and if there's an opportunity for you, if there's a place for you, if there's a pocket that you can fit in, somewhere where you can specialize and offer a service better than or differently from some of the competitors. And it doesn't mean you have to move to a big city to do it. And so I want to break this video up into a few videos, maybe 2 or 3 videos, because there are a lot of topics to cover when you talk about getting started. We want to talk about building a team, and because you can't do everything by yourself. There are times as an entrepreneur that you will have to do many things alone. You will have to strap up your bootlaces and get dirty and maybe do some things that are not necessarily in your particular area of expertise just to keep the business going. But we're going to talk about building a team. We're going to talk about building your brand, a logo, what an effective logo looks like, what makes an effective logo, how to build a brand that looks great. We're going to talk about seeking investors and how to seek investors, what to ask for. We're going to talk about going to networking events and how to network and things like that to get started, how to get your brand out. So for now, that is it. This is part 1 to the series on getting started. This is Chris O'Connor with Life and Entrepreneurship. Please like and subscribe to my page. I enjoy teaching you what I learned as a young entrepreneur, the mistakes that I made, the successes that I've had. I want to tell you all of these stories. If you have questions, please ask me questions in the comment section of the YouTube page. Follow me on Instagram, Christopher O'Connor. Follow my company, Prodigy Arts. That's Prodigy with an I. It's www.prodigiarts.com. Follow us, go to our website. You can see some of the work that we've done over the years. You can see some of our current work. And again, please like and subscribe to this page. I love to encourage, I love to motivate, and I want to see you win. All right? It's Chris O'Connor, Life and Entrepreneurship. Till next time, peace.